It was one of those days that began like any normal day. I actually had gone to Boston to visit a friend who I hadn't seen in many years, and the phone rang. I looked at my cell phone, and it was my mom, and I chose not to take it at the time. And then almost immediately after pushing the ignore button, I saw that my father was calling, which was very unusual. So I called them back, and as I was dialing their number, I could see my friend coming toward me, who I hadn't seen in years, and there was a smile on my face as I put the phone to my ear, and the next thing I know, I hear my father saying that my baby brother, my younger brother, had just been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. In that instant, the world fell apart. My brother, John, was 48 years old and was an ER doc, and so he knew, and I knew, having worked in the field for many years as a psychologist to children facing terminal illness, that stage 4 pancreatic cancer was not one of those lucky diagnoses, and that in fact, in all likelihood, it was going to be a very quick trip down a very dark tunnel. And that's what it turned out to be. My brother lived and died from the cancer 10 weeks. So the day after I got the phone call, I got on the plane, and on the plane with me, I took out a folded piece of paper that I've had for years, which is a piece of paper that speaks to what my signature strengths are. It was an exercise I had done years ago in a training, and I can see that over the years I had circled certain strengths like compassion, which I knew I would be compassionate. The one strength that absolutely popped out that I thought, okay, I can land there, was perseverance. And so that became my practice, it became my discipline, it became my mantra. And it became my gift in the end, that I would have the capacity to persevere and witness his decline and be present in as loving a manner as I could. So that was the first key for resilience for me, was remembering who I was. In the best of all worlds, in very difficult moments, things become very crystal clear. And what became crystal clear was it really didn't matter what anybody was wearing those days, or how many, turkey sandwiches you had or didn't have, or did the kids have too much soda or not. Like, everything that we worry about on a normal daily basis became absolutely tertiary to how do you love a man who is dying, and how do you help him find a way to die peacefully. For anybody who's been down this kind of medical path before, it's just an encapsulated version of the shock and trauma. So there's the concussion of the diagnosis, and then the scrambling for expertise, advice, guidance. Which chemo? Do we do chemo? Is he viable for surgery? Are they doing anything alternative in Europe that would be helpful? What protocol can we get him in a clinical trial? All of those questions got encapsulated very quickly, because we knew for him to live, it would take a miracle. Meanwhile, engaging prayer circles wherever we could, and people knitting shawls for him and sending us talismans, and everything that happens for anyone happened for us, but in a very quick time frame. And then he had 2 rounds of chemo, and the second round, it was clear after that he was not really going to be able to tolerate a third round, and his kidneys began to fail. And so within 5 weeks, at the 5 or 6 week mark, we were then in what, in hospice world we call the slide down. I have to say, for me personally, having helped children and families say goodbye to children who were dying, I was so grateful for my training, and it helped tremendously, and it helped not at all. So it's funny, the paradoxes get lifted in these moments. So watching someone you love be surrounded by love from the world and honored for what he had brought. He was beloved in his community, and beloved in his fraternity, beloved by his family. So that's an extraordinary gift. I think the key piece of resiliency that was sustaining, and that I would advise anyone who's facing any kind of major loss, is to do whatever you can to not go through it alone, whatever that means to you. But find, the 1 or 2 people in your life you deeply trust, and lean on them like there's no tomorrow. reach out to the support groups if that works for you. We had a Caring Bridge website, so there's communication happening all around the world on behalf of my brother. That was incredibly potent and powerful. You know, get down on your knees and call out if that's what's meaningful to you. Whatever way connection or community is sustaining for you, go there. Don't ever not go there, because there is no territory of death that is not excruciating, even at the same time that it's beautiful and uplifting and potentially the best connection that you've had with that person. All of that can possibly be true, and at the exact same time it's excruciating. No one ought to be in that territory alone. So in whatever way community and connection is built is probably the most important thing I could offer as guidance.